I can't even walk out my hotel without she having someone spy on me, so.
Kanii isn't just a name that surfaced from the algorithm era. It's a case study in how modern fame is actually built. In a time when songs can explode overnight and disappear just as fast, his rise feels different, less like a trend and more like a blueprint. He comes from a generation that didn't wait for permission. They uploaded first, figured it out later, and let the internet decide the rest. But what separates Kanii from the noise is what happened after the moment of virality, when attention stopped being luck and started becoming structure. His success didn't begin in a studio system or through industry connections. It began in bedrooms, on free software, and through early experiments shared online with no guarantee anyone was listening. What followed was not a single breakthrough, but a series of moments that stacked into something larger: recognition, momentum, and eventually, control. By the time the world caught on, Kanii wasn't just participating in internet culture, he was learning how to use it. This is the story of how a teenager from Washington, D.C. turned digital intuition, emotional songwriting, and viral acceleration into a career that extends far beyond a single hit. And more importantly, how he managed to stay ahead of the wave instead of being swallowed by it. Because in the internet era, going viral is easy. What comes after is the real challenge. Before the charts, before the tours, before the streaming checks, there was a kid named Kanii Ankshon Shorter Jr., born on August 2nd, 2005, in Washington, D.C., United States. He was raised in a household where music wasn't optional, it was constant. His parents have deliberately stayed out of the public eye, a move that Kanii has consistently respected, choosing privacy over exposure when it comes to family. What is known, though, is that his household was deeply musical, with his mother and grandfather filling the home with sound, ranging from Motown classics to contemporary R&B and pop. Growing up, Kanii didn't just listen to music, he absorbed it. He sang in a church choir at a very young age, an experience he later described as foundational rather than formal. Church wasn't about training, it was about feeling. That emotional grounding would later become one of his strongest artistic traits, the ability to sing pain, longing, and vulnerability without sounding forced or theatrical. As a teenager, Kanii attended the Duke Ellington School of the Arts in Washington, D.C., one of the most respected creative schools in the country. While many students there chase art with structured ambition, Kanii's growth was quieter. By the time most kids were discovering social media trends, he was teaching himself recording software, learning to layer vocals, experimenting with melodies, and turning his bedroom into a recording lab. At just 13 years old in 2018, he uploaded his first song, So Long, to SoundCloud. There was no marketing plan, no rollout, no label support. Just a kid seeing if anyone would listen. A few thousand streams later, something clicked. Not fame yet, but confirmation. Enough to keep going. What separates Kanii from countless other SoundCloud hopefuls wasn't technical perfection, it was emotional accuracy. His early music sounded unfinished, but it sounded honest. That honesty became his calling card. In 2020, Kanii released Obide, his first official single. The song didn't explode, but it placed him on the radar of underground listeners who were already developing a taste for genre-blending artists. Pop melodies sat next to rap drums. R&B emotions floated over electronic textures. He wasn't copying anyone, and he wasn't easy to categorize. Then came 2022, the year everything changed. Kanii released a track called Attachment, She Wanna Love, a short, emotionally charged song that didn't feel designed for virality, yet was perfectly built for it. TikTok didn't just like the song, it adopted it. The track became the soundtrack to thousands of videos, from relationship edits to late-night confession posts, spreading faster than traditional marketing ever could. Attachment wasn't pushed by a label, it was pulled by people. And when TikTok pulls, the industry follows. The song's viral success caught the attention of Mast Records and Warner Records, leading to Kanii signing his first major label deal. At this point, he was still in high school. He was balancing press interviews, studio sessions, and math tests in the same week. During his graduation ceremony, classmates sang the chorus of his own song back to him as he walked across the stage, a moment that summed up how surreal the transition had become. In 2023, Kanii released I Know, the song that officially moved him from internet success to mainstream recognition. The track went viral again, but this time it crossed over. It debuted on the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 90, and later earned RIAA Gold certification, marking one of the youngest gold-certified artists of his generation. That same year, he dropped his debut EP, Exit, which charted in the Billboard Top Dance/Electronic Albums, peaking in the top 10. For an artist who began by uploading bedroom recordings, this wasn't a lucky break, it was validation. Between 2023 and 2025, Kanii maintained a relentless release schedule, dropping multiple EPs including It Was Nice Knowing You and #Blue, each project showing visible artistic growth. He wasn't chasing hits, he was building catalog. He also opened for Pink Pantheress on select tour dates, placing him in front of global audiences that fit his sound perfectly. By this stage, Kanii had already moved to New York City, renting his own apartment while still a teenager, a detail confirmed by industry interviews in 2024. Unlike many artists who flex early, his lifestyle remained noticeably low-key. Kanii's estimated net worth as of now sits between $2 million and $4 million, depending on projections used. This figure comes from streaming revenue, touring income, merchandise sales, publishing advances, and brand-related deals. There is no public confirmation of an exact number, but multiple industry estimates place him firmly in the multi-million-dollar range by his early 20s. His annual earnings are estimated to fall between $800,000 and $1.5 million, fluctuating based on touring cycles and release schedules. Streaming alone contributes significantly, with tens of millions of monthly listeners across platforms, but touring and merchandise have become increasingly important income streams as his audience matures. Despite his success, Kanii has remained largely free of serious controversy. There have been minor online debates about genre identity and viral authenticity, but no major scandals, legal disputes, or public feuds. In an industry that often rewards chaos, his quiet professionalism has become part of his brand. Off-stage, he keeps his personal life private. He rarely speaks on relationships, avoids public drama, and uses social media primarily for music-related content. This sense of mystery has strengthened his image rather than weakened it. He has quietly supported youth-focused creative initiatives and is known to donate to small community-driven causes, particularly those centered on music access for young people, though he does not publicize these efforts aggressively. Kanii's skill set goes far beyond singing. He is a songwriter, melodic architect, vocal arranger, and digital strategist. Few artists of his age understand pacing, silence, and release timing the way he does. He knows when not to drop, just as much as when to flood the market. This understanding of timing is what positions him, not just as an artist, but as a future executive. And this is exactly where the story turns. As his music scaled globally, something interesting started to happen. The fame went up, the numbers went up, the money went up, but the noise didn't. While other artists his age leaned heavily into spectacle, Kanii chose selectiveness. And that restraint is exactly what made people curious about how he actually lives. His lifestyle reflects quiet confidence rather than loud flexing. His wealth isn't worn as armor. It's woven into his daily life in ways that feel intentional, modern, and surprisingly grounded for someone who came up in an era defined by excess. Fashion is the first place this shows. Heavily into high-end streetwear blended with understated luxury brands. He's frequently seen wearing pieces from brands like Acne Studios, Maison Margiela, Rick Owens, Comme des Garçons, and select Raf Simons archive items. These are not billboard brands, they're tastemaker labels. A single outfit can easily run between $4,000 and $10,000, especially when layered with limited pieces, custom tailoring, and rare footwear. He avoids loud logos and instead favors silhouettes, textures, and mood, often building looks around muted tones, oversized cuts, and experimental layering. Shoes are where he splurges selectively. Rick Owens Ramones, Prada monolith boots, Maison Margiela, tabby silhouettes, and limited Nike collaborations dominate his rotation. Many of these pairs range from $1,000 to $3,000, depending on rarity. He treats footwear not as collectibles, but as extensions of identity, often rotating pairs based on creative mood rather than hype cycles. Beyond clothing, Kanie's luxury expression is noticeably restrained. He does not heavily publicize jewelry, and when he does wear it, it tends to be minimal, thin chains or subtle rings rather than diamond-heavy statements. His watches follow the same philosophy. Instead of flashy, iced-out pieces, he gravitates toward refined designs from Cartier and Rolex, with models like the Cartier Tank or entry-level Rolex Datejust typically valued between $7,000 and $12,000. The emphasis is clarity, not attention. His day-to-day lifestyle also reflects a working artist's discipline. Much of his time is split between studio sessions, late-night creative recording, and travel between music hubs like Los Angeles and New York. When traveling, he leans toward convenience and privacy rather than spectacle, often using black car services or business-class flights, depending on schedule demands. He is also part of a new generation of artists who invest more into their craft environment than visible luxury. That includes high-end studio setups, premium audio equipment, and collaborative writing spaces designed for long creative sessions. Even his spending habits reflect a balance between comfort and reinvestment, prioritizing music production, visuals, and touring infrastructure over impulsive luxury purchases. In essence, Kanie's lifestyle is not built to impress the public. It is built to sustain a career in constant motion, where creativity, identity, and subtle luxury intersect without ever needing to shout. Cars are where expectations and reality diverge most clearly for him. Rather than building a hypercar showroom, his choices reflect utility, privacy, and smart comfort. Public sightings and industry context suggest he gravitates toward high-end luxury SUVs that balance status with discretion. Models like the Mercedes-Benz G, LE, or G-Class fit seamlessly into his lifestyle, with prices ranging from $85,000 for a well-optioned GLE to around $135,000 for a G-Class, depending on trim and customization. He has also been associated with the Range Rover lineup, a favorite among touring artists, where models typically fall between $95,000 and $130,000, offering a mix of interior luxury, sound insulation, and road presence without drawing unnecessary attention. These vehicles aren't about racing specs or social media flexes. They're about moving quietly between studios, airports, and shows, often with security or team members in tow. For an artist whose career runs on mobility, reliability, and comfort carry more value than speed, making his automotive tastes a reflection of maturity rather than restraint. Housing follows the same logic. After relocating to New York City, Kanii secured a modern apartment in Brooklyn, close to his creative community and collaborators. While the exact address and purchase value are not public, comparable luxury apartments in his area range between $1 million and $2 million, with neutral tones, studio-ready corners, sound equipment, soft lighting, and furniture designed for long nights of creative flow. There are no gold fixtures, no over-the-top interiors, no palace energy. It feels lived in, it feels functional, it feels like a creative headquarters. And that's because by this point, he is no longer operating only as an artist. He is running a business. Kanii controls multiple revenue streams that operate independently of viral hits. His catalog generates consistent streaming income. His touring revenue continues to grow as his fan base matures and ages into live experiences. His merchandise lines, often limited drops rather than constant releases, sell out due to scarcity rather than overexposure. Every move reflects an understanding of long-term value over short-term spikes. His label relationships remain strategic rather than restrictive. Kanii is deeply involved in his creative decisions, branding, rollout timing, and conceptual direction. He has avoided oversaturation, allowing each project to feel like a moment rather than content filler. This approach has earned him major milestones. By his early 20s, Kanii had already earned RIA, a gold certification, Billboard chart placements, international viral success, sold-out shows, fashion editorials, and critical acclaim from publications that rarely align so quickly behind young artists. His ability to blend vulnerability with modern production placed him among the defining voices of his internet-native generation. Yet, arguably, his most impressive achievement is what didn't happen. There were no public meltdowns, no legal trouble, no industry feuds, no forced controversies. In an ecosystem where chaos often equals clicks, Kanii built momentum by not self-destructing. That doesn't mean there hasn't been scrutiny. Some critics have questioned whether internet artists can sustain careers past their first viral wave. Others debated where Kanii fits genre-wise, with some attempting to box him into emo rap, electronic pop, R&B, or underground dance spaces. He never addressed these debates directly. Instead, he released music that made the arguments irrelevant. His personal life remains equally guarded. There are no publicly confirmed relationships, no tabloid-friendly disclosures, and no performative intimacy with fans. What he chooses to share is deliberate. What he keeps private stays private. This boundary has allowed him to grow without burning out. Behind the scenes, Kanii has quietly contributed to youth arts communities and emerging creatives, especially those who mirror his own background of self-taught musicians and bedroom producers. He understands firsthand how small financial support, equipment access, or visibility can change trajectories. These efforts rarely make headlines by design. Looking ahead, industry insiders don't see Kanii slowing down. They see expansion. There is growing speculation that he will move further into creative direction, executive production, and possibly mentorship roles for newer artists signed under similar sound ecosystems. What makes Kanii different is not just that he went viral, it's that he knew what to do after. He understood that virality is a spark, not a fire. That money is a tool, not the goal. That silence, when timed correctly, is more powerful than noise. And that the internet rewards authenticity, but only when it's disciplined enough to survive success. Kanii didn't just turn the internet into income, he turned it into leverage. And as the industry continues to chase the next viral artist, Kanii stands as proof that the ones who last are the ones who think beyond the moment. Because long after the trends reset, the streams stabilize, and the noise fades, the artists who win are the ones who built foundations quietly, while everyone else was watching them explode. And he did exactly that. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit subscribe, drop a comment on which artist story you want next, and stay tuned, because the next generation of music millionaires is already being built online right now.